The E90 sedan launched in March 2005 as a 2006 model, and it immediately sparked debate. Designer Chris Bangle's flame surfacing design language was more pronounced than ever, with controversial elements like the pronounced hood lines, the Hofmeister kink that seemed to flow differently, and those distinctive headlights that seemed to squint at you. But BMW wasn't just making a styling statement, they were engineering a revolution. The E90 was 65% stiffer than its predecessor, thanks to extensive use of aluminum in the front suspension, subframes, and hood. This wasn't just about weight savings, though it did help. It was about creating a more precise, more connected driving experience. The engine lineup at launch was impressive. The 325i and 330i continued with naturally aspirated inline-six engines, producing 215 and 255 horsepower respectively. But the real story began in 2007 with the introduction of the N54 twin-turbocharged inline-six in the 335i. This 3.0-liter engine produced 300 horsepower and 300 lb-ft of torque, numbers that seemed almost impossible for a non-M3 series at the time. The N54 engine became legendary in tuning circles. With simple modifications, owners could extract 400, 500, even 600 horsepower from this robust engine. It earned nicknames like the German 2JZ, referencing Toyota's legendary tunable engine. BMW had inadvertently created a tuner's dream. Inside, the E90 introduced the second generation of iDrive, addressing many criticisms of the original system. The interior was driver-focused, with the dashboard angled toward the driver and controls within easy reach. Material quality was exceptional, with soft-touch plastics, available leather, and real aluminum or wood trim. The E90 also introduced several technological firsts for the 3 Series. Active steering was available, which varied the steering ratio based on speed. The controversial system had its defenders and detractors, but it showcased BMW's willingness to push boundaries. Run-flat tires became standard in many markets, eliminating the spare tire but creating heated debates about ride quality. Sales were strong from the start. In its first full year, BMW sold over 100,000 E90 sedans in the United States alone. The sedan accounted for roughly 60% of all E90 generation sales, making it the volume leader and the car that most people pictured when they thought 3 Series. The E90 received a mid-cycle refresh, what BMW calls LCI or Life Cycle Impulse, in 2009. This brought updated headlights and taillights, revised bumpers, and most importantly, new engines. The N54 was supplemented by the N55 single-turbo engine, which offered similar performance with improved reliability and efficiency. Production ended in 2011, with over 1.3 million E90 sedans produced worldwide. It had successfully carried the 3 Series torch forward, even if it had ruffled some purist feathers along the way. While Americans were denied this pleasure, the rest of the world received the E91 Touring in September 2005. The wagon, or estate, or Touring as BMW prefers, was the practical member of the E90 family, but it never forgot it was a BMW. The E91 was more than just an E90 with a longer roof. BMW engineers reinforced the rear structure, recalibrated the suspension to handle the different weight distribution, and added unique features like the 2-piece tailgate with separately opening rear glass, a feature that proved incredibly practical for loading small items. With 460 liters of cargo space with the seats up and 1,385 liters with them folded, the E91 offered genuine practicality. The 40/20/40 split rear seats added versatility, allowing long items to be carried while still seating 4. The optional panoramic sunroof, extending over both front and rear passengers, made the interior feel even more spacious. But this wasn't just a load lugger. The E91 maintained the E90's driving dynamics remarkably well. Yes, it was about 100 kilograms heavier, and yes, the center of gravity was slightly higher, but in typical driving, these differences were barely noticeable. The self-leveling rear suspension, standard on many models, kept the car composed even when fully loaded. The engine range mirrored the sedan, from the efficient 318D diesel that could return over 50 miles per gallon in European testing, to the potent 335i that could sprint to 60 miles per hour in just 5.5 seconds, remarkable for a wagon. The X-Drive all-wheel drive system was particularly popular on the E91, especially in mountainous regions and northern European countries. One unique model deserves special mention, the 335d. Available primarily in Europe, this twin-turbocharged diesel produced 286 horsepower and a massive 428 lb-ft of torque. It could accelerate like a sports car while returning economy car fuel consumption, the ultimate expression of having your cake and eating it too. The E91 cultivated a devoted following among enthusiasts who needed practicality but refused to buy an SUV. These were the customers who appreciated that BMW bothered to properly tune the suspension, that the steering feel remained sharp, that this wagon could genuinely excite on a twisty road. Sales were respectable if not spectacular. BMW sold approximately 300,000 E91 Tourings globally during its production run. In markets like Germany, Switzerland, and Austria, the Touring sometimes accounted for nearly 40% of 3 Series sales. The E91 received the same LCI updates as its sedan sibling in 2008, with revised styling and updated engines. Production ended in 2012, actually outlasting the sedan by a year as BMW prepared the F31 successor. Today, clean E91s, especially 335i and 335d models with manual transmissions, are becoming increasingly sought after. They represent a dying breed, the fast, practical, driver-focused wagon that prioritizes driving pleasure over SUV command seating positions. The E92 Coupe, arriving in 2006, was perhaps the most dramatic interpretation of the E90 platform. This wasn't just a two-door E90, it was a completely different car from the B-pillar forward, sharing not a single body panel with its four-door sibling. The design was polarizing but undeniably striking. The roofline was 40 mm lower than the sedan, the track was wider, and the proportions were classic BMW coupe, long hood, short deck, and an aggressive stance. The Hofmeister kink was more pronounced, flowing into muscular rear haunches that gave the car a planted, powerful appearance. But the E92's greatest achievement might be the M3. Dropping the traditional inline-six for a 4.0-liter V8 was controversial, but the S65 engine was a masterpiece. With 414 horsepower at a screaming 8,300 revolutions per minute and a redline of 8,400 revolutions per minute, it was one of the highest revving production V8s ever made. The sound, was unlike any M3 before or since, a metallic wail that could raise goosebumps. The regular E92 lineup was hardly shabby. The 335i Coupe became the enthusiast choice, offering near M3 straight-line performance with better daily drivability and fuel economy. The 328i provided a sweet spot of performance and efficiency, while the 335 is, introduced late in the production run, offered 320 horsepower, a DCT transmission, and unique styling elements. Speaking of DCT, the E92 introduced BMW's first double-clutch transmission in a non-supercar application. The 7-speed MDCT in the M3 could shift in milliseconds, offering both automatic convenience and manual control that was actually faster than a traditional manual. It was a glimpse into the future of performance transmissions. The E92 also pioneered new technologies. The M3 featured an innovative M dynamic mode, that allowed for measured oversteer before intervention, perfect for track days. The optional EDC, electronic damper control, could adjust suspension firmness on the fly. These cars were computers on wheels, but computers programmed by driving enthusiasts. Racing heritage ran deep in the E92. The M3 GT2 competed in the American Le Mans Series, while the M3 GTS, a limited production track special with 450 horsepower, became an instant collector's item. Only 150 were made, featuring a roll cage, fire extinguisher, and radical aero. Today, they trade for multiples of their original price. The coupe format attracted a different buyer than the sedan. These were often younger, more style-conscious customers who valued the emotional appeal of a coupe. BMW sold approximately 470,000 E92 coupes globally, with the United States being the largest market. The 2011 LCI brought LED taillights, revised front and rear bumpers, and updated engines. The N55 replaced the N54 in most markets, though some regions kept the twin-turbo engine until the end. Production ended in 2013, marking the end of an era. The F32 that followed would be called a 4 Series, ending the tradition of 3 Series coupes. The E92, especially the V8 M3, represents the last of a breed, naturally aspirated, high-revving M engines that prioritized character over efficiency. The E93 convertible, launching in 2007, brought a revolutionary change to 3 Series drop tops, a 3-piece folding hardtop. This wasn't just about luxury, it was about transforming the convertible from a fair-weather toy into a genuine 4-season car. The engineering required for the folding hardtop was extraordinary. The roof consisted of a steel front section and 2 aluminum rear sections, all of which had to fold into a space originally designed for a soft top. The operation took 22 seconds and could be performed at speeds up to 25 miles per hour. Watching it work was like observing a mechanical ballet, panels lifting, rotating, and tucking away in perfect synchronization. This complexity came with compromises. The E93 was 385 pounds heavier than the E92 coupe, and trunk space with the top down shrunk to just 210 liters, barely enough for a couple of small bags. The rear seats, already tight in the coupe, became nearly unusable for adults. But buyers didn't care. They wanted the security and refinement of a hardtop with the option of open-air motoring. BMW reinforced the E93 extensively to compensate for the missing roof structure. The A-pillars were strengthened, the sills were reinforced, and additional bracing was added throughout. The doors were elongated by 70 millimeters compared to the coupe, easing entry and exit. Rollover protection came from reinforced A-pillars and pop-up roll bars behind the rear seats that would deploy in milliseconds if sensors detected an imminent rollover. The E93 M3 was particularly special. Here was a convertible that could lap the Nürburgring in under 8 minutes while carrying 4 people and their luggage, with the top down if desired. The S65 V8 sound was even more intoxicating with no roof to muffle it. It was the ultimate expression of BMW's philosophy that a convertible shouldn't compromise the driving experience. Technology in the E93 was impressive. The optional wind deflector reduced buffeting significantly, making top-down cruising comfortable even at highway speeds. The heating and ventilation system was recalibrated for top-down driving, with BMW's air collar, warm air vents in the headrests, available on later models. The comfort access system meant you never had to remove the key from your pocket, and the premium audio systems were tuned for both top-up and top-down listening. One often overlooked model was the 335is convertible. With 320 horsepower, DCT transmission, and unique styling, only about 2,000 were made worldwide, making it one of the rarest E90 generation variants. The E93 attracted a specific demographic, typically older, more affluent buyers who could afford a car that prioritized style and experience over practicality. BMW sold approximately 220,000 E93 convertibles globally, with warm weather markets like California, Florida, and Southern Europe being strongholds. The LCI refresh in 2010 brought the same updates as other E90 generation models, plus improved weather sealing for the complex roof mechanism. BMW had learned from early reliability issues and continuously improved the system throughout production. Production ended in 2013, making the E93 the last E90 generation model to cease production. It was replaced by the F33 4 Series convertible, which returned to a soft top, ending BMW's experiment with hardtop 3 Series convertibles.